guys confirm once?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming. So let us start the session, guys. So if you guys remember, yesterday we have seen about the cloud overview. That is, we have seen why we need the cloud platform, right? And how the traditional working model works and how the cloud platforms comes into the picture and what are the advantages of using the cloud over the traditional working model. We have seen it. And after that, I have told you what is Google Cloud Platform and what are the services it is providing us. And I have also told you how we can able to interact with the GCP interfaces. Let us start with in a very brief and detailed way. Okay. So if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, why do we have to interact with the GCP services? We wanted to do some kind of a data engineering activities, isn't it? Sir, I have a plenty of data engineering activities, such as I wanted to ingest the data, sir, or I wanted to process the data, sir, or I wanted to analyze the data, sir, or I wanted to visualize the data. If you wanted to do any kind of a data engineering activities in the Google Cloud Platform, we can go for these interacting methods. What are those? So the very first method is console. The very first method is console. The second method is Cloud Shell and the Cloud SDK. Okay, sorry. Yeah. The very first method is Cloud Console, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK, and APIs and third-party tools. So these are the four methods that we can able to interact with the GCP services. Sir, what is this Cloud Console? What is this Cloud Shell? What is this Cloud SDK? How do we interact with these things? With the help of these things, how can we interact with it? So let us try to understand one by one in a very detailed way. Okay, for doing that, I am going to the board. Hope you guys are able to see my board also. The paint I have opened. So the very first thing I would like to talk about is console. Okay, maybe I'll mention here console. So this is our first method. So what is a console if you ask me, sir? A console is a web-based or browser-based, you can also ask. So it is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the services visually. So what we are going to do it? We are going to interact with the GCP services visually. So this is what is console, everyone. It is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. So how do we interact with the services here? Visually, we are going to interact with it. So for example, sir, what we can do with the help of the console, if you ask me, we can able to create a bucket. So if you wanted to create a bucket, you can create a bucket. Or if you wanted to create a cluster, or if you wanted to create some table or data set in the BigQuery, or if you wanted to assign some IAM policy, or if you wanted to delete the resources or update the resources. So if you wanted to do any kind of a resource creation, deletion, updating, assigning the IAM policy, getting the resource details, if you wanted to do any kind of an activities that can be done with help of the console. So this is what is console, everyone. A console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. So what we can do, almost all the things can be done using the console. So can you show me, sir, how the console looks like? So let me gonna open my browser. As I told you, it is a web-based. So the console is only available over the web only, guys. Nothing but a browser only. So you go to the console.cloud.google.com. So the moment you enter console.cloud.google.com, click on enter. So you will be entering into the Google Cloud homepage. You You will be entering into the Google Cloud homepage. In this one, so whatever you are seeing is a console. It's a graphical user interface. The one you are seeing is right. So this is a graphical user interface. So for example, sir, I would like to create a bucket. To create the bucket, what I am going to do? First, I go to the cloud storage. First, I go to the cloud storage. See, graphically and visually, I am interacting with the services. How do I know that it is cloud storage? Because visually, I am looking at that particular thing, clicking on that particular thing. And so the moment I entered into it, I see one of the bucket is created. And if I wanted to create one more bucket, see, I can able to list out my buckets. See, all the buckets I am able to see it. I only have one bucket, so that's the reason I'm able to see one bucket only. And if you wanted to create one more bucket, you have an option to create a bucket here also. So you can click on it. So how do you interacting with that particular service to create some service or deleting some service? Visually, you are interacting with it. Visually, graphical, with the help of the graphical user interface, you are going to interact with that particular service. So you can provide all the details and you can click on create, so that you can able to create a bucket using the visual interface. With the help of the visual interface, you can create a bucket. Okay, 1 minute, guys. So, for example, if you wanted to interact with any of the, so for the same thing, so this is we have created it. So if you wanted to delete it also, so you can do one thing. So you can click on this particular thing and you can click on delete also. And you can assign IAM policy also. So if you wanted to do any of the things in this particular thing, you can able to do it via console. What is a console, everyone? A console is a web-based graphical user interface. Where it is available? It is available over the web only. It is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with a GCP services. Sir, I have this many services. If I wanted to interact with a BigQuery, so I am going to use a visual interface only. So this is what I call as a console, everyone. Almost all the things can be able to create it with the help of the console. So this is what you are seeing is a console, everyone. And similarly, the second method, as I told you, that is Cloud Shell. Let us try to understand what is a Cloud Shell also. The next one is Cloud Shell. Okay, can anyone tell me what could be a Cloud Shell? Can anyone guess it? What could be a Cloud Shell?
Command line interface, CLI.
Correct. Perfect. Perfect. It's a command line interface. So most of the people are able to guess it. So it is a first thing is that it is also a web based. It is also a web based command line interface. Some people has already told us it is a command line interface. Can you guys tell me, if I wanted to work with the services, how do we work with how do we interact with those services? So in the console, we are working with the services or we are interacting with the services visually. But in the Cloud Shell, if you wanted to interact with the services, how do you interact with the services? Via what, guys? Whether it is if it is a command line tool, you have to interact with the services via commands only, right? So that is what is a Cloud Shell, everyone. So what is a Cloud Shell? A Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services. So this is one of the utility. So this is one of the utility to interact with the GCP. So 1 minute, guys. Yes. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so you guys are not able to hear me clearly? Oh, okay, give me
It's
1 minute. Sorry. Really sorry, guys. So some network issue it could be. So let me gonna recap whatever I have told you. So hope you guys are able to see my screen also. Can you guys confirm all? Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So look at here, guys. So if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, I was talking about this thing. If I wanted to interact with the GCP services, I have total 4 methods are there. One is console, the second one is Cloud Shell, the third one is Cloud SDK, the fourth one is APIs and third-party tools. What is console I was talking about? A console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the services visually. What is this one? It is a web-based graphical user interface. So if you go to the Google Cloud platform, this is what is our console. So here, whatever the things you wanted to do it, you are going to interact with that services visually. So if you wanted to create a bucket, so you go to that particular cloud storage and you click on this create button. So how do you interacting with that particular service? You are interacting via visual interface with your mouse and the visual interface you are interacting with it. So you provide some kind of a details and you click on create button so that again the bucket gets created. Similarly, you come here, you select this bucket and you click on delete so that the bucket is getting deleted. So see here. So such kind of a things, how do you doing it? So you are doing it via visual interface. So that is the reason we call it as a graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. A console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. Okay, hope that is clear. And what we can do, sir, here, if you ask me, almost all the things we can able to do it here, such as we can create the bucket, we can create the cluster, or we can create the table or data set, or assign some IAM policy, or delete something, or update something. Anything, almost anything in the Google Cloud platform can be done using the console. Okay, so that is what is console, guys. And the next thing is a cloud shell. Next thing is Cloud Shell. What is a Cloud Shell? A Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. It is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. Okay, so that means what? So if you wanted to interact with any of the service in the GCP for doing your data engineering activities, for storing the data, okay, for storing the data in the Google Cloud Platform services, you need to interact it via, or you need to do it via commands. Okay, you need to do it via commands. So that means you can also do all of these activities. All of these activities can also be done using the Cloud Shell. But what we have to do, sir, we need to know the commands to interact with that particular service. We need to know the commands to interact with that particular service. So that is what we call as a Cloud Shell, everyone. Okay, so Cloud Shell is a command line interface to interact with the services. Sir, can you show me? So the moment you entered into the Google Cloud platform, this is a web-based console. And if you wanted to activate the Cloud Shell, so here you are having a one more option called Activate Cloud Shell. Here you are able to see it. Hope you guys are able to see this option. Okay, so let me gonna show you. I'm gonna click on this one. So the moment I click on that one, you see at the bottom, what is happening? At the bottom, the Cloud Shell is getting activated. You see, the Cloud Shell is getting activated at the bottom. So as I told you, you will be getting a terminal kind of an environment or a Cloud Shell environment. You are going to get it so that you can able to issue a command to interact with the GCP services. Look at here. You can issue a command here. Sir, I would like to show you GS util ls. So earlier, if I wanted to list out the bucket, maybe for example, look at here. So if I wanted to interact with the cloud storage, I could go to the cloud storage visually. And I can go here and I can able to see here, list out the buckets and all of those things. So to do the same thing here also, okay, let me gonna increase the size. The font size is very small, I guess. Yeah, I think it is clear. So you can able to see I am issuing a command called gsutil ls so that it will list out the objects inside that particular bucket. For now, I do not have any bucket, so that's the reason it may be empty. For now, it may be empty. Okay, maybe for example, if I wanted to create some dummy bucket for you. Okay, I'm going to create some dummy bucket here. So I'll provide something like dummy. Okay, dummy bucket. And I mentioned a dummy bucket and click on continue. So I'll just click on create it. I don't want anything. Dummy bucket GCS test. Okay, so I have given, I'm creating one bucket. The font I would like to increase it large. Yeah. Okay, look at here, guys. So the moment you created a bucket, so what we have done using the console, we can also create a bucket. The same thing we can also do it from the Cloud Shell also, but let us do it later because you do not know the commands. But I would like to list out it. So when you click on gsutil ls, you should be able to see that one of the bucket is there here. See, so the whatever the activity that you are doing it using the console can also be done using the Cloud Shell. I will also tell you in our upcoming sessions, if you wanted to create a bucket, how do we use the commands? We have a separate Linux session where if you wanted to create a bucket, I will tell you the commands. gsutil mb is the command to create the bucket, nothing but a make bucket mb. So all of those things we will see in our upcoming sessions, but try to understand that what is a Cloud Shell. A Cloud Shell is one of the command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. You see here, okay? Via GCP commands, we can able to interact with the services. So that is what it is, a Cloud Shell, guys. Anything can be done here. Anything can be done here. If you wanted to interact with a BigQuery, so you can use BQLS. So we do not have anything because this is my new project. I do not have anything in this particular thing. So that's the reason you are not able to see anything. But after we creating some buckets, we creating some tables, you should be able to see most of the things here. Okay, you should be able to see most of the things here. Okay, but try to understand that what is a Cloud Shell? A command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. Okay, via commands you are going to interact with it. Where it is available, guys? It is available over the browser only. So that's the reason I mentioned it as a web-based graphical user interface. Okay, yeah. And the third one that we are going to see is, okay, I would like to tell you one more thing about the Cloud Shell also. Cloud Shell has two phases, everyone. Cloud Shell has two phases. One is terminal. Okay, one is terminal, one more is editor. So I would like to tell about this thing. So what is a terminal? A terminal is purely to run your commands. Terminal is to purely to run your commands. Editor is like your code editor, guys. It is like your code editor. So if you wanted to edit your code, you can go for this thing. So you have two phases in the terminal, guys. So if you go to the Cloud Shell, sir, you will be able to see two things. One is Cloud Shell terminal, and the second thing is Cloud Shell editor. A Cloud Shell terminal is to run your command. So the one you are seeing is a Cloud Shell terminal. The one you are seeing is a Cloud Shell terminal where, okay, I'm going to activate this one also so that it may take some time. So that's the reason. Yeah. So this is your editor. So in the terminal, you are going to purely run some commands, or I would like to run some commands like cp command to copy something, or maybe move command to move something. So whatever the things, if you wanted to copy it or move it between the services or whatever it is, you can able to use the Cloud Shell terminal. That is one thing. And sir, sometimes I wanted to use the Python. I wanted to create a Python code. I wanted to create a Java code. I wanted to create a Terraform code. So if you wanted to write some code, you can come to the editor because editor is like your code editor. It is like your Visual Studio Code. So the moment you see in this one, you will be able to see it is like a Visual Studio Code. You can click on this plus button. You can create main.py. You can create main.py. See, so the main.py is created, and you can able to enter some code also. Print This is our demo 3 for GCP Data Engineering. Okay, so you can able to enter the code properly here. See, this is what is our code editor looks like. A code editor looks like. So you can write it here. Print trainer is Sheikh Saidul. So this is how you can able to write your code. Not only for the Python, it's supposed to almost all the languages, Java, Node.js, all of these things. So that's the reason Cloud Shell comes up with the pre-installed client libraries. So that is also I would like to tell you. A Cloud Shell comes up with a pre-installed client libraries. I would like to tell you this point. Client libraries, such as what are those client libraries? If you ask me, sir, it comes up with a Python, Java, Terraform, kubectl, many things. Okay, it comes up with a pre-installed client library, so that if one wanted to write a Python code or a Java code, they can able to easily write it. So if you wanted to write it in the terminal, you can do that, or also editor. Editor comes up with a rich editor feature, so that you can able to use the editor for your code editing purpose like this. So once your code is written, now you can go to the terminal and you can able to see that code. Ls if you give, say we have created that code. Sir, I wanted to run that code using the Python. So first let me make sure that the Python is available. So I am checking the version of the Python. If the version is coming, that means the Python is available. So you see Python is available now. Sir, I would like to run that code, Python main.py, right? So if I see here, so I'm able to print it properly. So this is what is the print statement in the Python. This is our demo 3 for GCP data engineering, and the trainer is Sheikh Said. Okay, so this is how you have two phases, I would say, in the Cloud Shell, that is terminal and editor. In the upcoming sessions, we will learn more about these things, but as an idea, if you wanted to get it, until this watch is more than enough. Okay, so this is what is your no, no, it will not run. Yeah, Spark is different. Okay, Spark needs to be installed. Okay, so that is not possible here. Yeah, so it is a web based. You can run the pandas and all of those things. Yeah, web based CLI to interact with the GCP services via commands. It comes with a pre-installed client libraries such as Python, Java, Terraform, and all of those things. You can almost do all of these activities that can be done using the console, can be done also using the Cloud Shell also. And it has two phases, terminal and editor. Okay, so this is it. And our third component, our third way of interacting with the GCP services, can you guys tell me what is that third method?
SDK.
SDK.
Yes, SDK. Can anyone tell me what is mean by SDK, abbreviated as? What is the abbreviation of the SDK?
Software development kit, I guess.
Correct. So software development kit, guys. SDK means a software development kit. So I would like to define it in a very simple as it is a local based. I would say it is a local based. So why did I say it is local based? So you have to download the SDK according to your operating system and install it on top of your local machine. Okay, so according to your local machine operating system, you have to download the SDK. You have to download the SDK and install it on top of your local machine, so that you can able to interact with the GCP services from the local machine to, you can able to interact from the local machine to GCP services via what, sir? Via the commands only again. You have to interact via commands only. So this is what is SDK, everyone. Okay, so this is what is SDK. It is a local based. First thing, it is a local based. So that means you have to download the SDK and install it on top of your local machine. Okay, install it on top of your local machine. So how do we do that? So I'm going to show you the link. So I have already mentioned in the notes. Let me going to show you. So if you go to the cloud basics, maybe from Monday onwards, you guys all get the access to the notes, guys. So those who are paying for the fee, so they will be getting the access to the notes. You can go to the click and install SDK. So here I have pasted the link. So if you wanted to go to this link, you can copy this link. Okay, you can copy this link. You can go to any browser. If you wanted to download something, you need to download it via internet, right? So you can click on enter here. Okay, so here it is. If you want to, sir, my operating system is Linux, you go and download for the Linux, or for Ubuntu operating system, Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Mac OS, Windows operating system, Chromebook, whatever it is, guys, whatever the operating system that you have. Most of our laptop operating system is a Windows, so that's the reason you select the Windows. So you can see here to download the installer, just click on here, enter. So that the moment you select here, it is getting downloaded. Look at here, it is downloaded. Once it is downloaded, open that in the folder, and here it is, that particular downloader. Right click on it, run as an administrator. It doesn't take much time, hardly 2 minutes. Okay, click on yes, so that you have to do the setup. Click on next, click on agree, click on next, click on next. Just click on install, so that the Google Cloud gets installed. I mean, the CLI, SDK CLI gets installed on top of your local machine. Hardly 1 minute, 15 seconds to download it, 2 minutes for the installing. That's it. 2.5 minutes, you should be able to set up your CLI. Okay, so it's like your WhatsApp. So you have your WhatsApp in your mobile, right? So similarly, if you wanted to download it, what you will do, sir, the very first thing, you go to the WhatsApp website and you download it from there, and after that you install it. And after the installing the WhatsApp, what you do, guys? Can you guys tell me? After installing the WhatsApp, for me, I have installed the WhatsApp, let us just say. So that means SDK, I have installed it. What is the thing that we have to do once we install the WhatsApp? If I wanted to send some messages to someone, what I have to do? We need to log in. That's a very good term. We need to log in first. Similarly, if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, I need to log in with my Google Cloud account here also, right? So that is how the command to interact or command to log into that particular thing is that this one. Okay, gcloud auth login. I have also pasted here the command gcloud auth login. Just copy the command. Just copy the command and go here and paste. Okay, why it is coming everything? Okay, gcloud auth login is the command, guys. The moment you download it and install it, gcloud auth login, just click on enter. See, it comes to the browser only. You select your account. This is my account only. I'm selecting it. This is my Google Cloud account. I'm selecting it. I'm allowing it. Just to, if it is asking you something, yes or no, just do the yes. That's it. So now you're authenticated to with the Google Cloud CLI. Now what I have to do, I go to here. So it is already selected my project. If you wanted to change the project, that we will see later. But earlier we were seeing gsutil ls in the Google Cloud Storage. How many buckets we have it? If you guys remember, how many buckets we have? If you guys remember,
One.
only one bucket was there, right? So then click on enter. You should be able to see the same thing here also. You should be able to see same thing here also. See the same thing here also, you are able to see it. See, that means you can do anything from the SDK also. Okay, so most of the times the SDK is mainly used to move some files from the local machine to the Google Cloud platform, or running some command from the local machine to the Google Cloud. So such kind of an activities, if you wanted to do it, you need the SDK, guys. What is an SDK now? SDK is a local based. It is a local based command line interface. Actually, I would like to tell that point. Local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. It's also a command line interface, guys, to interact with the GCP services. We can do almost everything with the SDK also. We can also do almost everything with an SDK also. This is what is SDK, everyone. So I have shown you how we can able to download the SDK, guys. I told you. So how do you download it, sir? You can go to the browser. Very simply, you can go to the browser. Sir, I do not know the link also. You can just select with the SDK. Okay, Google SDK download. Okay, just search with the Google SDK download. Click on enter. So the moment you entered with the Google SDK download, you see here this one. Click on that one. First link, you can click on it. So you will be entered into this particular page. In this page, if your operating system is Linux or Ubuntu or Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS or Mac OS or Windows, whatever it is, most of our systems are Windows only. So that's the reason you click on this one. For those it is a Linux, you can run these commands. This one, this one, this one, this one. That's it. It's installed. Or else I have also pasted in the link upcoming. So for those, if your operating system is a Linux, so Ubuntu or Debian, you can also run these commands. So one by one, you can run these commands automatically. Or just copy this entire commands and you can run it. It will be installed for you also. Okay, so that's all. So you can also ensure that whether it is installed or not also, you can go to your command prompt. You will be having command prompt, right? You can go to the command prompts also. So you can go to the command prompt. The command prompt will open like this, and gcloud hyphen version. Okay, gcloud hyphen version. You can able to see the version here. So the cloud SDK is installed. So that's the reason you are able to see it. Or if you wanted to see it here also, you can go to the search button. You can search with SDK. So that if you are seeing this one, that means it is installed. You can open it. We have just opened it. Once we have opened it, what we have to do? The very first thing is that we need to log in it. So that's the reason the moment you download your WhatsApp or any other application in your local machine, you have to do login so that you can use those particular service, activities, right? So activities for the WhatsApp is sending messages or receiving the messages, right? To do those activities, you need to do the login. Here also, if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, I need to do this one. So I am telling you this command like 2 to 3 times. Later point of time, if I ask you, no one is saying it. So that's the reason I'm telling you guys. So these commands we are using all the time. Gcloud auth login. So after that, you can able to interact with the services. Okay, so this is what we call as a cloud SDK, everyone. So one is Cloud Shell, one more is one is Cloud Console, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK. And the fourth method I would like to tell you is that is APIs and third-party tools. APIs and third-party tools. Why? So this APIs and third-party tools is depends on the requirement. We don't actually use it all the time. If the project requirement says is that you have your data, some of the data may be coming from some API. We will be seeing one example also in our data processing activity. We can also extract the data from some API. Okay, what is this API? API is nothing but one of the endpoint. So for example, assume that you are running some website. Someone is running some website. Okay, so in the website, there's a plenty of the data. So this is website. So in that website, there's a plenty of the data. So that data you wanted to see it. So that's the reason what you have done is that you have registered with that website and you are asking them to showcase your data so that you will utilize that data in here. Okay, it's like this. For example, most of we already know it. For example, weather information. Okay, so weather information, no one will do the report for the weather information. Only some what we call it as a dedicated people do the weather report, and they will be showcasing that weather report inside their website. But if you go to most of the websites, they are able to showcase that report details. Why they are showing? How they are showing? It's because that what this website will do is that they wanted to showcase their data, so they create an endpoint. So what other websites will do is that they will use this report. They get the data from the report as an API, application programming interfaces like a bridge. This is like a bridge. Okay, this is like a bridge. So the other website, okay, the other website, they can use it. They can use it. Maybe, for example, if I have to give you a simple example, assume that we know the Indian Railway, IRCTC, IRCTC, right? IRCTC. IRCTC is in a website. In India, we only have a one railway center, that is IRCTC, Indian Railway Center. We do not have anything. So if I wanted to book a ticket for the Indian Railways, I have to go to this Indian Railways only. But can you tell me, can we able to create the ticket in the Amazon also? Railway ticket can we able to create in the Amazon? If you go to the Amazon website, we can able to create the ticket in the Amazon also. If you guys remember, right? We can able to create the ticket in the Amazon also. We can also create the ticket in the Redbus also. We can also create the railway ticket in the Abibus also, and make my trip also. You can able to create all of the tickets from this Amazon, all of these centers also. But how it is possible? Do you think the Amazon is having their own private railways? No. What they are doing it? So they register something. They will be having their own business. So they register something with the IRCTC, and they will be having some kind of a, what we call is a business. They start doing the business. Okay. What they try to do is that.
Hello,
So,
boss.
yes, please mute yourself, please. So what they try to do is that when they have started a business combiningly, collaboratively, so IRCTC showcase their data to the Amazon via API. Via API, they showcase their data. So what the Amazon will do, the same API, they will be using it to extract the data from the IRCTC. So in the same way, in the IRCTC also, you will be having your name, and the moment you entered your name and the from to where, if you details, if you give such details, you will be able to book the ticket here also. Okay, so the only difference is that IRCTC may be having their poor platform to create the tickets. Poor platform, it's not a rich UI, but Amazon comes up with a very rich UI. Okay, very rich UI, and they also put some kind of a rich UI to book the tickets. They also comes up with an offers also. So most of the people go to Amazon or Abibus to book it their tickets. So they try to book the tickets. The moment they're creating the ticket, the moment they're booking the ticket, it will be booked in the IRCTC only. It will be booked in the IRCTC. How this is possible? It is possible via API. So what is this API? So this API is acting as a bridge to showcase someone's data to someone. Okay, so someone's data is IRCTC data. They wanted to utilize. Amazon wanted to utilize it. So that's the reason. So it comes up with a comes from the business. What is the advantage to the IRCTC is that IRCTC gets some kind of a fund from the Amazon. So that's how they will be having their own matters or business, we can say. And so that's the reason they showcase this. How they can showcase this data? Via some REST APIs or whatever it is, they are going to showcase their data to the Amazon. So now Amazon will be showing a rich UI where they will show you the name and from details and to details, and they will also provide you some kind of a discount over the ticket. So such kind of a detail. So what is the advantage for the Amazon? They are increasing their customer count. So they are increasing their customer count. What is the advantage for the IRCTC to showcase? They get some kind of a benefit from the Amazon. So in terms of a fund or money, whatever it is, they get. So such that they are going to do such a kind of a businesses. So this is what we call it as. So this is API. So similarly, tomorrow your company is asking, that means how do you extract the data from the API? Some developer has to work, right? Some developer has to work behind the scene. So that developer may be you. That developer may be you, data engineer. So tomorrow your company is asking, so we have some company, that company is exposing the data in the form of a REST API. You need to access the data from the REST API and store the data into the GCP. Store the data into the GCP. So they may ask you like that. So you as a data engineer, what you have to do, you have to connect it to that particular API and third-party tool, and you have to extract the data and load the data to the GCP. Okay, so that is the reason. So we need to know some amount of knowledge on the API. Some idea I have given you in our upcoming sessions. We may take a use case, or how can we extract the data from the API. I will show you. Okay, that time you will understand it more better. So while you are interacting with an API, so do we need the credentials? Do we need any kind of service principles? I will show you all of those things there. But the thing is that, so some API will be exposed from some company to extract the data, because you are working for some client's data may be coming from some API. What you do is that you connect with an API and you extract the data. While you're connecting it, you provide your service principles and as well as credentials. You extract some data or you pull some data and you load this data to some other service, maybe in the Google Cloud Storage or some other service. So that purpose you are going to use it, guys. Our main agenda is to do the data engineering activities only here, pulling the data so that I can store it here. Tomorrow I can transform it, day after tomorrow process it, day after tomorrow analyze it, so that visualize it. So this is how we will be doing it. So this is our data engineering activities we do. Okay, so this is the API. Similarly, we will also be having third-party tools. Third-party tools is nothing but what, sir? So this is GCP. Whatever it is there for me, it is a internal to the GCP. So we call it as our native tools or internal tools to the GCP. Other than GCP, whatever the tool you are interacting with it, that is becomes a third-party tool to the GCP. So for example, you are using the SSIS. So it is a third-party tool to the GCP. Third-party tool. Okay, maybe you have Power BI. Again, it is a third-party tool. So these are all the tools we call it as a third-party tool, which are external to the Google Cloud Platform. The internal tools, we call it as a native tools or an internal tools. Okay, but whatever it is external to the Google Cloud Platform, we call it as a third-party tools. So we also interact with the third-party tools very rarely, but this is also one of those things. So because maybe we are pulling the data or moving the data from the GCP to some other things. For such kind of things, we may use third-party tools also. But these things are very rare. These APIs and third-party tools are very rare, but this is also one of the way. Okay, so to give you some idea. Yes, so this is what we call as GCP interacting methods, guys. One is console, the cloud shell, the cloud SDK. What is console? A console is a graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services, everyone. So it is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visual. And we have a cloud shell. What is a cloud shell, everyone? It is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. And it comes up with a pre-installed client libraries, and it has two phases. One is terminal and editor. Terminal is to run the commands. Editor is like your code editor to create your code in a visualization way. And we have a third method, that is our, what is that, sir? Cloud SDK. So Cloud SDK is a local based. So the moment if I say local based, you have to download that it is according to your operating system and install it on top of it. And from the local machine, if you wanted to move anything, or if you wanted to store process the data from local machine to the GCP, or if you wanted to run some code from the local machine, anything if you wanted to do it, you have to do it via the CLI. So nothing but a Google Cloud SDK is also a local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands from the local machine. From the local machine you are doing it. So here we can create the bucket, create the cluster, all of these activities we can able to do it from the Cloud SDK also. And the third party tools and APIs are more of a third party interactions or external interactions to interact with the GCP services. Someone wanted to store the data in the GCP from the third party tool, or someone wanted to pull the data from some API. So whatever this, we call it as APIs and third party tools. I have given you some idea. Maybe in our upcoming sessions these may come, so that you guys get a few little bit more idea, I would say. Okay, so this is what is console, cloud shell and cloud SDK, everyone. Okay, let me gonna show you. So the moment you interact, so let me gonna give you some overview on the Google Cloud Platform, guys, and we will try to wind up the session maybe. Okay, so let me gonna just give you some overview. Okay, so let me gonna take a snap of it. So this is how. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So the moment you enter into the Google Cloud platform, right? So this is my left navigation menu. This is my left navigation menu, guys. So you guys able to see it, right? So this is my left navigation menu. So if I enter into that left navigation menu, what will happen? Look at here. So if I click on it, I am able to see most of the services in the GCP. Okay, I can go to the solutions, I can go to the billing section, I can go to all of these sections. Okay, so that is one thing. And this is my project area. To give you some idea, guys, to make yourself comfortable with the UI, so that's the reason I'm telling you. This is our project area. So in this project area, we can able to create some project, we can able to select the existing project also. What is a project? A project is like a resource container. Okay, so whatever the resources that you are using in that particular project are associated that particular project only, and the billing will be tracked via project only. We will see few more things later point of time. Again, the console walkthrough topic will come, and there I will tell you. But to give you an idea, so this is what it is. So this is our project area, and this is our search box. Sometimes if you wanted to search something, you can able to go to the search box and search that service, and you can select that particular service also. Okay, and this is it. And they have recently introduced Gemini UI, guys, in the Google Cloud platform. You can able to make use of the Gemini UI. It is free for almost all the people. And here it is a reward button. So we are using the free rail status, right? So I can go here. So this is our cloud storage search box, and this is our Gemini UI. We can it's like a chat GPT. You can also interact with the Gemini UI also. You can just enable it, you can work with that. It can also tell you. Okay, you can start charting. So you can ask so what is console in GCP, or what is cloud shell in GCP? So you can ask it, and that it will tell you, and you can also look at that information. It's like your chat GPT. You can also make use of it. Okay, so look at here. It's a virtual computer. It provides you the pre-install, or it's a command line environment. So all of these things, it comes with the pre-installed tools. As I told you, you can easy access to the projects, and it is secure and isolated. All of these things are there. Okay, yeah. So that is Gemini UI. And here we have one more button, that is activate Cloud Shell. The moment I hit that button, so you will be opening this Cloud Shell terminal. Okay, so this is our Cloud Shell terminal, everyone. So the moment you open it, so you will be opening this entire window. You are opening this entire window. So this is opening. It's because of what one, guys? So because you clicked on that particular Cloud Shell activate Cloud Shell button, so that it is opened here, so that at the bottom it is open. So you don't have to open it bottom also, you can also open it separately. Sir, I can also open it in the next window also. You can click on this button. So that is nothing but you can click on this button so that it will open in the next window also. Okay, so this is to give you some idea, guys. So because what happens in the upcoming sessions, we are going to utilize all of these options. I'm going to say activate Cloud Shell button. So you may be looking at here and there, where is the activate Cloud Shell button? So that's the reason I'm showing. See here, it is opened up here. So you can close it here, and it is opened up here. So that is how. So here you can able to activate the Cloud Shell also, Cloud Shell editor also. So you can properly use it at the Cloud Shell editor, and the Cloud Shell terminal, you can able to use it at the bottom and top. Okay, so that is how. And next thing is your notification channel. So whenever you are creating something, you are doing some activity, so the notifications will be created. So earlier we have created one of the bucket, right? So we enabled this one, we deleted one of the bucket, we created one of the bucket. So all of these things will be done here. Okay, this is like a helper. So if you wanted to get support from the Google Cloud, you can also go and create in the Google Cloud. And these are your details, such as project settings and billing method, all of those details. You can able to check it out here. And this is your account. Okay, so all of these options I tried to tell you, guys. I'll just hover over to each and every one. So look at here. This is our left navigation menu. This is our left navigation menu. And this is our project area. Either you can create a new project, or you can also select the existing project. This is our search box to search some services to directly go to that particular service. This is our left Gemini chart, and this is our free trial status. See, it will tell you how many days left with how much money, right? and this is our activate cloud shell button, and this is our notification channel. It will show you all of the options, and rest of the things we don't use it much. And this is how it is, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the session here for today, and we have seen the GCP interfaces. Okay, in the next session I'm going to tell you, so I would like to tell you this particular thing, guys. And so far I have told you 4 methods. One is console, cloud shell, and cloud SDK. But which one we are going to use it mostly? If you ask me, it totally depends on your project requirement. It totally depends on your project requirement, guys, and the type of interaction that you wanted to have it with GCP resources. So if your company says you can use only the console, you have to use the console only. If your project says only the SDK, you have to use SDK only. But the thing is that some services are utilized with console, some services are utilized with the cloud shell, that you will be seeing in our upcoming sessions, that's for sure. But if you wanted to use console or cloud shell, it's your purely your choice only. Sir, I have the flexibility to use any service in my company, so you can go for console or cloud shell. It's totally your choice. Okay, that's what this point is. So the choice of method depends on your preferences, requirements, and the type of interaction that you wanted to have it with the GCP resources, whether it is via user interface or a command line interface or APIs or integration with third-party tools. Okay, so this is what we call it as. This is what we call it as the node. These are the common ways to interact with the GCP. It totally depends on the requirement and the interaction that you wanted to have it with. And in the next session, I'm going to tell you how to create a free tier account and how to set up the project, how to enable the billing, how to manage the billing, how to track the billing, how to enable the API. So that is what is our next step, guys. So that we will be seeing in the console walkthrough. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to stop the session here for today. If anyone have any questions, you please raise your hand. I will go one by one. Please raise your hand, guys. If anyone have any questions, please raise your hand, guys. We will see one by one. Yes, Yugender, you have any question?
Yeah, so you showed that Gemini is
Yeah,
integrated with GCP, right?
correct,
So
correct.
in that, is it for only the general information purpose, or if I ask about anything about my instance
Anything,
or anything,
anything,
that also will
anything.
give?
Not about the instances. So instances are, more of a private activities. So you can ask the generalized information. So what it can do, what is this one, how it can do, and how I can able to use this particular service in a best practices. Such kind of a details you can ask, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't ask what is the health of my instances and how it is working. So such kind of a details, no. Okay, but you
Uh-huh.
can ask some details. So generalized information, yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
With the help of the Gemini, it's like your ChatGPT. However, the ChatGPT works, the Gemini also works. Similar to the ChatGPT, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can also ask some kind of a coding, and it will also help you when you're writing an SQL code also. It will automatically detect what you are trying to do, and it will give you some code also. Okay, that's very good actually. That's one of the very good option, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? If anyone having any other questions, please raise your hand if you guys have any questions. And this is our third demo, guys. I'm telling you, for almost all the people, this is a free demos we have completed. Free demos we have completed, guys. So for those people who wanted to continue for the regular sessions, you have to do the registration. You have to do the registration, and to go and connect with your admin, pay the amount, and get the access to the recordings, get the access to the material, get the access to the live Zoom session every day. Zoom links you ask them. So these are the 3 things you have to ask them. So our admin will directly contact you, or you connect with an admin, try to complete the registration. And the next session is only for those people who are completing the registration. The Zoom link will be changed, guys. Okay, so complete your registration, get the recordings access, get the material access, get the Zoom links. Okay, so I'm telling you again, free demos are completed. Okay, complete the registrations to attend the live sessions from next time. It's a continuation session only. So there isn't anything that we are, so whatever we have completed so far, it will be continued to the next sessions. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Suresh. Correct, correct. The sessions are only from Monday to Friday, guys. I would like to tell you about the session details one more time. So the sessions are from Monday to Friday. Okay, the sessions are from Monday to Friday. What is the timings? Can you guys tell me the timings? The same timings, everyone. 7:30 to 8:30. The same timings, AM IST. Okay, and you will be getting the recordings access. We will be providing the material. In the material, we will be having the all the resumes and dumps and notes, everything. Interview related kit also you have it. Okay, interview kit also you have it. So this is thing. And the sessions are regular every day, 1 hour only for next 2.5 months. Okay. Yes. Yes, Ganesh. The doubt sessions are every day. We are having it by the end of the session. So once the 8:30, and by the 8:30 I will be able to complete it. Next 10 minutes we will be having the doubt session, guys. Okay, the doubt sessions every day we will be having. So whenever you have any question from the previous session or from the current session, you can ask me in that session only. After 8:30 you can ask me. So I'll be here 10 to 15 minutes. You can ask me the doubt session. Okay, so that's it. That is one, sir. The face you can connect with an admin. So I think you 1 minute. Please. Uh-huh. Okay. 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 No, no, no. Don't worry about that. So yesterday also I have attended 2 interviews. Okay. So why I attend interviews, I'll tell you two purposes I'll attend interviews. To see the interview scenario, one thing, to help some students. Okay. Two things. So yesterday I attended 2 interviews. Today I have one more interview. Okay, so why I attend the interviews is to get the how they are asking the questions. Don't worry about it. I have also added two or the questions also from, so they have added me Python questions. You go and check it out here. This is something that I have added yesterday only. Okay, I have added this question yesterday. Okay, and this I have improvised this question yesterday. Okay, this one, the optimization techniques. So the optimization techniques that I have improvised yesterday, because so however they are going to ask, I am going to improvise this thing first thing. And don't worry about it. Don't think that they are asking something differently. For sure they are going to ask you these questions only. If you say this project, if you say this project, whatever, if you are following me, sir, I am saying this project, if they are not asking the questions, you only go and you try to attend the interview and you get to know it. For sure I'm telling you, they are going to ask the questions exactly similar to these questions only. There isn't any difference. If they are asking scenario based questions, that we will be covering in each and every service. For example, they will ask you BigQuery architecture all the time. So I mentioned that BigQuery architecture. That is one thing mentioned. And one more scenario based things is that this one. So can we change the schema in the BigQuery? For sure that is covering in the notes. So scenario based questions will be done using the will be done when we are covering the particular topic, when we are creating some pipeline. Okay, but other than that, I'm telling you, if someone is saying that people are going out of the question, so you just tell them, I'm not sure about the topic. I would just skip like this. So far I did not get a chance to work on that particular service, but if I would like to learn it in the future, for sure I will be learning it. You skip like it. Okay, but out of 10 questions, 8 questions, confidently I am saying that 8 questions from this particular notes only, they will go, they don't deviate it. There are 1 or 2 questions they will deviate from the topic, and they will ask you maybe CI/CD details, or maybe some virtual machines or Kubernetes. You tell them directly. You tell them directly, I did not get a chance to work on that particular tool or service, but I would like to learn in the future, so that you are showing the enthusiasm to learn towards it. Okay, so that's how you skip it. But for sure, I'm telling you, they will ask from the notes only. Yeah. It's not related to the data engineers. It is not related to the data engineer at all. Kubernetes, because our workloads are deployed on top of the Kubernetes. Okay, our data engineering applications or workloads are deployed on top of the Kubernetes. So they think that, do you know the basics of the Kubernetes? Okay, what is Kubernetes? So it is a container engine. That's it. That much is more than enough. You say that in you can also say like that, in our company we are using the Kubernetes for our application deployment purposes, but I was much involved in that particular thing. That's it. End of the topic. Okay, so that's how you do it, because we don't use the Kubernetes at all. Okay, yeah, but they will think that. So see, if I am a manager, I know all the topics, right? I know about all the topics. Sometimes I just wanted to see my candidates whether they know about these things also. Cross skilling, people call it as, right? So they know about this one also. Just to check it, they will ask you, and you confidently say it, in our project we are using it, but I have also seen some of the things, DevOps engineers are deploying something on top of them also, but I was much involved in those activities, but I have some knowledge on it. You can just skip it, those things like that. Okay, yeah, that's how you should be smart. I'm telling you guys, interviews are not to check your knowledge. Interviews are not for checking the knowledge. Knowledge check cannot be done in half an hour. It is only to be spontaneous during the interview. Okay, how do you be spontaneous? When you are comfortable with the interview, you will be spontaneous. That is one thing. And one more thing, 50% of the knowledge, 50% of the communication. So if you have 50% of the knowledge and 50% of the communication, and you are spontaneous, for sure no one will stop you to crack the interview. Okay, so that's all. So this is how it works. There are few interviews sometimes. I attend almost all the interviews. There are interviews I couldn't able to crack it. It's because that the interviewer asking some random questions, whatever he know. He may not be coming from GCP Data Engineer, but he is asking some interview questions. So don't worry about these things. Okay, we will be talking about all of those things in the upcoming sessions. Yeah, let's not worry about it. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions, anyone, guys? If anyone have any questions, you please ask me, guys. So this is our third free demo. Yes, it is GCP Google Cloud Platform is a very good for entry level positions as well as experienced professionals also, guys. I'm telling you, experienced professionals, you get a very good hike. For entry level positions, it's like a knowledge for you, so that you can go and it gives a platform to attend the interviews. Okay, so that's so people, if you go and check it out, sir, I'm applying for example, if you are a fresher, if you're applying for Accenture or something, so if you say I know the GCP, they will be very happy to recruit you, because nowadays if someone knowing some cloud, they are very happy to recruit you. Some language or some cloud, if you're knowing, that's very good. So we are going to cover the Python, PySpark and GCP. Well and good, you are going to open a lot of doors. Even you get a one call also, you can able to easily crack the interview. For freshers, I'm telling you. Experienced, for sure you get a plenty of the calls, there is no doubt about it. Yeah. Okay, even today at what time, I will tell you. Today at, I think 3 p.m, I guess, I have an interview, guys. So every day I'll be attending the interviews, guys. It's not for the sake of mine, it's for the sake of, at 3:30 to 4 I have an interview, the round one. Okay, So maybe sir is bluffing it. Maybe don't think it. I wanted to show you that particular invite also, I think. Okay, I can show you somewhere. It will be, maybe I can go to the calendar or something. I can show you maybe. So I have a HSVC test also, and you look at here, 3:30 to 4:30. I have an interview today. So every day I'm telling you guys, almost every day. Okay, at least 3 interviews per week. I'll take it. 2 to 3 interviews. I wanted to know the trend, and am I in the perfect trend or not? See, I am getting almost interviews. That means why can't you get it? My package is very huge. No one actually call me. Okay, no one actually call me. If they have a very good demand only for the data engineers, they will call me, because they are not afford me to get into their get into their company, because my package is very huge. So if the company is still calling me, it is because that they have a demand, very high demand. Then only they will call me. See here, I may be able to get the interviews. So it's only round one only. It's a round one only. So with that particular company. So I'm telling you, there is a very good calls. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone, please? So I put 2.5 months. I put 2 months, 2.5 months notice period for sure. 2 months for sure. Yes. Yes. I see. Yes. V Babu. Yeah. You have any question? After completing the course, you will be having a batch, guys. After completing the course, what you have to do is that we will be having a group. Okay, it's like a communication channel for us. A group will be created. Whatever the group that you are in, the group will be there, and plenty of the other members will also be there in the group. So whenever you have any doubt, you can actually put it in the group, so that other members will help you, or me also. I will also help you. Okay, for sure. Yeah,
Sure. The thing is, it would be possible to.
correct, correct. For anything, you can actually ask in the group. I'll be helping you for sure. You can also message me. Yes, message it in the group. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, guys. Any other? Please raise your hand, guys, so that I'll get to know who is talking. Okay. If anyone have any question, please. Yes, Babu. Yeah, Babu. No, it's almost 18%. There's a plenty of opportunities. You don't have to say about that, because 12% out of the world is very too much. 12% of companies, for sure. What is the AWS market? You tell me. What is the AWS market and Azure market? No, it is 35 or something, 35 place, and Azure is something around 25 place, and GCP is 18 place. Okay, so this is our market share. So the people do the mistake is that they go to the job for AWS and Azure, they learn the course, but it's already, the market share is already very good. That means how the market share is there? How do you get to know market share is there? That means the companies are using it. So if the companies are using the AWS or Azure, that means who is working on that? AWS data engineers and AWS and Azure data engineers. That means already the skilled professionals available. How do you get the job? If you wanted to learn AWS and you go for the job interview, whom you are competing with? You are competing with these people only, right? Already skilled people, right? So when you compete with them, do you think you will be able to learn some course and get the job directly? When you have a skilled professionals, very hard. Very hard, I'm telling you. Very hard to get the job when already skilled professionals from the 3 to 4 years, 5 years of experience, the skilled professionals already there in the market, and you are learning some course AWS and Azure today and getting the job. That's the reason. But for the GCP, it is not like that. GCP is new to the market, only 3 to 4 years old, and if you are going for a interview, the persons like you only available. Okay, the persons like you only who have learned the course, like you will only available. Just focus on that only. Don't worry about it. What is GCP's market and all of those things. Focus on whether you will be able to get the job or not, whether you will be able to. So earlier GCP was only the 9% and it came to the 14%. Now it is 18%. You tell me drastically. Earlier AWS was 45% market was there. 38. Now it is 35. It will keep on reducing. Even from some of the projects from the AWS to the GCP, they are migrating. Okay, I'm seeing this one. I have worked for one of the company for all the data workloads. They are moving the data workload from the AWS to the GCP because GCP is very cheap, cost-effective services they are providing. So that's the reason. Yeah. So domain related questions, we don't worry about it as long as we are working on something, we take some data, we processing it. So while we are taking some data, we get some kind of idea on it. If you see, because the client always changes. When you are working on a 3 years experience, the client always changes. Okay, you can't just tell them, sir, I have worked on this project and this is my domain, my client is doing this one. That you can just spend like half an hour or 30 minutes to learn the domain knowledge. It's not that you have to, because you have to showcase the knowledge in the interview only, right? Interview of 30 minutes and they ask you what is your domain and you have to justify it in 1 minute. To spend 1 minute, do we have to spend the entire course? No, just go to the internet and just browse something about that domain. So just learn a few or five terminologies. That's it. You put it in the interview. It's a 1 minute only. You have to explain, right? So don't worry about that. So don't worry about those things. So those things will come and go while you are learning the course. Those things you will be able to easily attain. The only thing is that how do you develop it? How do you do the processing it? How do you transform it? That's the knowledge. Focus on it. So the domain knowledge will not be that much difficult as long as you know about what you have to do. Okay, even though if they are putting you in some other domain also, you'll be able to work it, because it's end of the day, it is just a data. It is just an information which we wanted to transform it. But if you wanted to learn, domain knowledge important, but not that much important, I would say. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So any other questions, anyone? I think we are up for the session. So I'm telling you guys, try to register for the course. If you wanted to continue to attend the sessions, register for the course, and your admins will get back to you on all of those things. Try to pay the amount, get the access to the recordings. Don't ask me about the recordings and material and all of those things later point of time. That's the reason I'm telling you these things. Once you pay it, you ask all of these things and get the access to all of these things. So before the next session itself, guys. Okay, guys. I think this is it for today. Try to complete your registrations. We will meet on the next session, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean,